Hi, I'm Bonnie Barker with BonnieBayCrochet.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make the Starburst Baby Blanket. This is an easy beginner blanket that you should be able to pick up as long as you know the basic stitches. That would be chain, single crochet, double crochet. You're not going to need trebles or half doubles for this, so really double crochet, single crochet. This is a little on the trickier side. It's not an absolute beginner project, but I believe if you're a beginner, you could still give this a go, give it a look, and see what you think. One other thing, if you could, before I go into the details on this, if you could just hit that subscribe button if you haven't done that already. That way you won't miss any of the new offerings that I have coming your way. For this project, I'm recommending that you have 2 scans of the Stitch Studio by Nicole Storybook Fanfare and 3 scans of the Storybook Lullaby. This is a solid color. You may substitute other yarn if you'd like. This is a DK or a number 3 weight yarn. Let me give you the stats on each of these. For the variegated or the ombre color that I'm using, both of them actually are 100% acrylic. This one has 255 yards per scan, and you see it's a number 3 there. Also, this is 140 grams or 4.9 ounces. For the solid color, they usually give you a little more yardage. This has 265 yards, and it's 4.9 ounces again. Tools for this project, I'm recommending that you have a size H or 8 or 5.00 millimeter crochet hook. And as always, if you could have a yarn needle handy, you're going to have a lot of threads to hide with this one, and a pair of scissors. Okay, let's go ahead and start. To begin, I'm going to be using the solid color yarn, and I'm going to start with my slip knot. Now remember, if you are prone to crocheting chains extremely tightly, you probably should bump up to a larger size hook. If you're not, you're good to go. We need to chain 105 chains, and I like to go in increments of 5 and then reposition 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and that way if somebody interrupts me, I know approximately what number I'm on. Okay, so that's 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I'm going to go ahead and complete this all the way to 105. Now to start row 1, we're going to skip the first 4 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to work 9 double crochets in that 5th chain from the hook. That's 3, 4, 5. These are all double crochets. 6, 7, 8, and 9. This is also going to be a pretty dense pattern, so you want to make sure that we're not, getting to really thick yarns, if those of you who like to substitute yarns. Okay, so let's double check to make sure that we really do have 9 double crochets here. That's our turning chain. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We do have 9 stitches. Now we're going to skip the next 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and then we single crochet in the next chain. Skip 3 more chains, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to work 9 double crochets in that next chain. Now if I'm going too fast for you at any point in the video, all you need to do is look down on the bottom right about down here for right-handed videos, right over here for left-handed videos, and there's a little gear icon and a little sprocket looking thing, and if you click on that, you can actually select vary the speed of the video, and by clicking on that you can either speed it up or make it slower. That way if I'm crocheting too fast, you can actually slow it down. Okay, so let's go ahead and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stitches. I need 2 more. 8, 9, and then we're going to skip 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and then we work a single crochet
in the next stitch. Now this is going to be the repeat all the way across. Skip the next 3, 1, 2, 3, and then work 9 double crochets in that next chain. It's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, make sure we get all the strands, and 9. Okay, and it's really important that we have the right number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if you're not sure, it's a good idea to go ahead and pause a minute and count, because we're actually going to work into each of those stitches in the rows coming back. All right, so after we do that, we skip 3 more. 1, 2, 3, and then single crochet in that next chain. So that is the repeat all the way across, and it will end with a single crochet in that last chain. So go ahead and work that all the way across the row. Now that we finished working this stitch all the way across the row, we just have one stitch left, and that is the single crochet worked in the last stitch. So we're going to skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to work a single crochet here, but we are also going to change to the new yarn at the same time. So I'm going to show you how I like to do this. Stick the hook in to that chain, pull up a loop. Now instead of just completing it with this yarn, I'm going to actually bring in the variegated yarn and finish the stitch with this yarn just like that. And I know I need to chain 3, so I'm going to go ahead and do those 3 chains. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take care of this. I'm going to tie these together after I cut the main color here, and I'm going to go ahead and tie these in a knot. I'm going to be working a finishing round all the way around this, so it'll give plenty of opportunity to hide a lot of these loose strands and the knots. So I'm going to go ahead and just make sure that it's really secure. And I've gone ahead and I've chained my 3 chains, and I'm turning now to work across on the back side. We're actually going to skip this last single crochet, and we're going to do something called working 4 double crochets together over the next 4 stitches. And it goes like this. We wrap our hook, we're starting in those double crochets, stick the hook in, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, wrap, and do that in the next one. Pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2. Now I have 3 loops on the hook. Do that again. And pull through 2. Okay, so now we have 1, 2, 3 double crochets begun, and we're going to do one more. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Now I should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loops on the hook. Yarn over and pull through all of them just like that. Now we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to single crochet in that next double crochet, and that should be the center or the 5th double crochet of that cluster. Now we're going to do something very interesting. We're going to do this again, but this time we are going to, well, first we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. That's very important. Now we're going to crochet 9 double crochets together, and this is the way we do that. We wrap the hook with each of these, stick in this next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. We're going to do that 9 times. That's 2. That's 3. That's 4. Now the 5th one's going to be in that single crochet right at the bottom. That's 5. That's 6. That's 7. That's 8, and one more. That's 9. Now you should have 10 loops on the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yarn over and pull through all 10 loops. I did that very well. This is actually I could actually turn this into a commercial for the Susan Bates hooks, but I could not do that with many other brands on the market. So then we give it a little chain. After working those 9 double crochets together, we're going to chain 4. This is in addition to that loop that brings these 9 stitches together. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we single crochet in the top, or that very next stitch, which would be the 5th of the double crochets of this cluster, or the one in the middle. Now we're going to do it again. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to crochet 9 double crochets together. 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now I have 10 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 10, and then crochet them together with a loop there, and I'll chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then single crochet in the top of that middle double crochet of the cluster. I'm going to do this for you one more time, and just to show you what you're going to do all the way across, we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, crochet 9 together. 1, that's double crochets. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You should have 10 loops on the hook. Yarn over and pull through all 10. Chain there just to connect them together. So this is what we are doing. So we're just going to continue to do that. Now the thing to remember is when you start off, or actually after you complete the crochet 9 together, you're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we work that single crochet in the top. Now when you start from this point and right before you do the 9 crochet together, chain 3. 1, 2, 3. So it's 3 to start this. I'll go ahead and do this one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yarn over, pull through all 10 loops, and crochet them together with that little chain there, and then after that you chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then single crochet in that next stitch. So after we connect these all together, we chain 4, but before we start doing it, we use a chain 3. So I just wanted you to be clear on that, okay? So go ahead and stick with this color all the way across. We're not going to change colors at the end of the next round. Okay, so just to let you know that don't change colors at the end, but go ahead and work this all the way across, and I'll show you what to do at the end of the row. After working this all the way across the row, that brings us to the end, and for this we are going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and then we are going to double crochet 5 stitches together. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that chain 1 right here. So just in that chain space. So we have 6 loops on the hook. Yarn over and pull through all 6 loops. Now we're going to turn, and we are going to continue using the same color. We're going to chain 4. 1. We're going to start by chaining 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to work 4 double crochets right in that top of the place where those 5 double crochets were joined. Okay, so we're doing 4 double crochets here. We're going to skip the chain 3, and we're going to single crochet in that single crochet. We're going to skip the next chain here, and right here where these 9 double crochets were joined together, we're going to crochet 9 double crochets in that same spot. And this is where we're going to get the the sunburst effect. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is really important that we get all the threads there, and that we do have 9. Let me verify this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, we're good to go. And this is pretty much, I'm going to show you what we're going to do all the way across. We're going to skip the chain here. We're going to single crochet in the single crochet. Then we skip the next chain. And then where you have this 9 stitches double crochet together, we're going to do 9 double crochets in that spot. And that is your repeat all the way across the row. I'm going to go ahead and finish this one for you. And do make sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And again, skip the chain and single crochet in the top of that single crochet. Skip the chain, and then again 9 double crochets in the center where those 9 double crochets were joined together. And I tend to lose count when I talk and crochet at the same time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And this project is going to be heavy on the counting because of that. But let me show you how this is coming. This is really going to be fun. So you're going to have these bursts, these little circles of color, which I think is going to be a lot of fun. And I'm going to talk a little bit ahead. Okay, we skip this next chain, single crochet in the next stitch. Skip the next chain. I know I'm showing more than I need to here, but once I get to the end of this row, then we are going to change back to the dark color here, and then I will show you what to do there. But we're pretty much going to do the same thing. It's going to be a repeat of rows 2 and 3 all the way across for the duration of the blanket, but I will get very specific, and I will help make sure that you understand what to do for each row. After working this all the way across the row, we come to the end, and we're going to work 5 double crochets right in this stitch here that joined the 4 double crochets together. It's 4. Now before we finish this last stitch, I'm going to have you change to the new color. So to change to the new color, before we complete that 5th double crochet, just grab the new yarn and pull it through like this, and we're going to turn. But before we do that, let's go ahead and trim this color. Make sure you leave a nice long strand so that will be possible to weave it in easily, and join it with this strand here. I'm going to go ahead and drop the hook for just a second. And I'm going to go ahead and tie these two together. And push it close to the work like this. That way it'll be very easy to hide once we get to that part of the project. So after pulling that new color through, go ahead and turn. And to begin row number 4, we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And just looking at this here, you can tell that we need to do 9 double crochets together. We're not going to work in this first stitch. We're going to start in the next one. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. You should have 10 loops on the hook. Go ahead and wrap and pull through all 10 of those loops and give it a chain to close them off. Now we're going to chain 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. And go ahead and single crochet in that top stitch just like that. And after we do that, we're going to be repeating the same thing of crocheting 9 double crochets together. Actually, we have to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and then double crochet 9 more stitches together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Yarn over, pull through all 10 loops on the hook, and then we chain 4. 1, actually close that off, and then 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Single crochet on top of that next stitch. And I'm going to do one more of these with you, and then I'll have you go for the rest of the row. Chain 3, and then crochet 9 together. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that single crochet there is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yarn over and draw through all 10 loops on the hook and give it a chain to close it off. And then now chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then single crochet in that next space. So go ahead and work that all the way across, and let's take a look at the end, and I'll tell you what you need to do for that just to anticipate it. Okay, we're going to end with just a crochet 9 together, chain 4, and then single crochet in that chain space for the end of this row. At the end of round 4, I've chained my chain 4, and then we're going to work a single crochet in that turning chain just like that, and that ends the first 4 rows. And let me show you row 5. We're going to continue on with the green color, and just as a reminder, you're going to change yarn after every 2 rows. So after this second row that I work with this solid color, I'm going to change back to my variegated or color B. Okay, so to begin row number 5, we're going to chain 1, we're going to skip the single crochet, and we're going to skip the chain, and we're going to work 9 double crochets right there in the center where that double crochet or 9 double crochets together was brought together. Okay, we have 4, 5, 6. Well, let's make sure we get through all the strands. 6 and 7 and 8 and 9, just like that. We're going to skip this chain, and we're going to single crochet right in the top of that single crochet. Going to skip the next chain, and right here again in this hole where this 9 double crochets together were joined, we're going to work another 9 double crochets in that space, and that is going to be your repeat all the way across row number 5. I'll go ahead and see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Make sure you bring it through all the loops. 8 and 9. Skip the next chain, single crochet in that next space. And let's take a look, and you can see now where you have your little burst of color here, and now we have a solid finished burst of the solid color, and this is going to look really fun when we get an entire blanket with these colors. And you can see from this point that if you wanted to even add a third or even a fourth color, this could be a pretty spectacular blanket. And it's going to be one that the baby will just absolutely love to look at. And another idea just popped in my head, and that is if you have a lot of extra yarn left over that's of the same thickness. Now, if you wanted to do this in, let's say, a worsted weight yarn, you could do that. I would make sure that you bump up the size of the hook. But if you have a lot of one particular, type of yarn in different colors, this would be a really good candidate project to use them on. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish row number 5. Now that we come to the end of row number 5, we're going to work a single crochet in that first chain of those chain 4. We're going to pull up a loop, but now we're going to be switching back to the variegated color because, like I said before, after 2 rows we're going to change yarn. So I'm going to pull that loop through just like that, and I'm going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is to begin the next row. But before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and care for my yarn here. I'm going to go ahead and trim a nice long strand, and I'm going to tie these 2 together in a knot just like so, and be very careful that the knot is close to the work, just like that. That looks good to me. So we're going to turn now, and we're going to begin row number 6, and this is where I set you off on your adventure. Row number 6 is actually a repeat of row number 2 that we worked right down here. So the repeat on this is to repeat rows 2, 3, 4, and 5 over and over again. If you need stitch support on this, all you need to do is go back to this video where it's clearly marked row 2 and just work through row 2, 3, 4, and 5. Or another option is to just look down below what you did in the work on your blanket, 4 rows below, and you can just mimic that. It might actually be easier for the first couple times to go back through the video, but I'll go ahead and work the beginning of row number 6 with you. We're going to skip that first single crochet. We're going to work 4 double crochets together. Once we get those 5 loops, yarn over, pull through all the loops, and then we're going to chain that together and then chain 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, single crochet in that next stitch. And then now we are going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we work 9 DCs together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Make sure we get through all those strands. And 9. Make sure there are 10 strands on our hook. yarn over and pull through all 10 strands, and go ahead and fasten that, and then chain 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then single crochet in that next double crochet, which should be the 5th of that cluster. So that is going to be your repeat all the way across. I also wanted to give you some additional information. So go ahead and repeat, like I said before, rows 2, 3, 4, and 5 until your blanket is a square or until it is the size or the length that you would like. I will put the number of rows right below there in the video to tell you how many rows that I will need to do. But one way to check to see if your item is square is to take one corner and to bring it all the way down to the next corner. Of course, this is just a small piece here, but if you take one corner of the blanket and bring it to the other, and that is a good way to find out if you've actually reached the square shape that you would like. Okay, so go ahead and finish, and I'll show you what I have after I have gotten the blanket to the length that I desire. After completing 44 rows, let me give you a feel for what this fabric looks like. I'm very happy with the way these colors are coming together. And as is, this blanket with 44 completed rows measures approximately 23 inches by 23 inches. Let me show you. I've got a lot of strands here to hide, which we will do towards the end. At this point, I have a square, and that's where I am going to begin my perimeter round. But if you would like more of a rectangle, all you need to do is to complete more rows until the blanket is within an inch or two of the size that you would like it to be. When we complete the perimeter round, we're going to be adding about an inch all the way around. Okay, and let me try to explain what I'm going to do before I finish this section off. Okay, I am going to end my blanket by working another row with the same color here, so that these will be complete starburst in the same color. Now, as I go across, then I'm going to come to the sides, and then I'm going to switch colors, and then I'm going to work in the contrasting color along the side of this blanket. And then when I come to the bottom where the foundation chain is, I'm going to switch colors again back to the solid, and so on and so forth. When I go up the next side, I'm going to, again switch to the variegated yarn. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'll show you the perimeter round. Okay, to begin the perimeter round, it's just like row 3. We've gone ahead and chained 1, and we are going to work 9 double crochets right in that center space, just like you've been doing all along. I'll go ahead and finish the 9 double crochet. After those 9 double crochets, single crochet in that single crochet, and go ahead and repeat that all the way across until you get to the corner. Once you get to the corner, we're going to switch yarn colors. So go ahead and work that all the way across. At the end of going all the way across the row, we're going to go ahead and switch colors. We're going to stick our hook in, pull up a loop, and we're going to go ahead and change to the new color, or the variegated color right here, and go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and knot this after I trim it. Go ahead and give this a knot down here. And just to let you know, I do have a video coming out on to knot or not to knot, and what that looks like in a lot of these patterns. And to be honest with you, there are different ways of doing this as far as making the knots and everything, and I'm going to show you what some of the other options are. But I am using this particular basic method because this yarn is on the slippery side, and I don't trust it to survive some of the other methods that I will be demonstrating. So after joining our yarn, and I've chained 1, we're just going to work 9 double crochets into the hole that was created here. So it will continue around and make it look like another starburst all the way down the side. And by the way, this is the border. I want you to take a nice look at it. I think it's going to be a really nice way to even out this project. So I'm going to begin I'm actually going to crochet over some of these strands as we go. I'm going to go ahead and crochet 9 double crochets into this hole. I'll go ahead and finish crocheting these up. After crocheting those 9 double crochets, we're going to skip over to where this single crochet is in the solid color, and I'm going to go ahead and work a single crochet in that space. Then I'm going to skip this section here and go for the next hole here, which would be the center of the next starburst. And I'm actually going to take these threads and put them over that space so that I can crochet those 9 double crochets on top of that. And I think this is going to hide the knots quite well. I'll actually show this to you once I finish crocheting the 9 double crochets. I finished crocheting the 9 double crochets. I want to show you the back side. You can see the knot is pretty much gone. And all I need to do is trim these strands in just a minute once I finish working down the side. After that, go ahead and single crochet in the material right here. There's a single crochet with that solid color. I'm just showing you how this is coming out. So I think this is going to be quite nice, and it's going to stay, you know, in keeping with the pattern that's already established by the blanket. And I'll do one more for you, and just going to the next section here where that hole is, and go ahead and work those 9 double crochets. So go ahead and do this all the way across to the next corner. After working with the variegated yarn all along the row ends, we come to the corner and go ahead and in that corner space begin that single crochet, and then but I want you to complete it with the new yarn, or rather the solid color yarn right here. Pull that through, and let's not forget about making our knot here. I know we've got a lot of strings here to deal with when we get through. And let's go ahead and get our scissors, cut that little piece. Make sure you're leaving a good, you know, generous strand so that you can thread into the yarn needle when we're done. Go ahead and I'm just pulling that knot all the way down to the work as close as possible, like I've been doing. Okay, so I pulled that yarn through, and now we're ready to go ahead and give it a chain, and let's have you work a single crochet right there in that corner. And now, if we can pull these strands out of the way, we're going to be working in these really large holes here on the foundation row, and we're just going to continue on with the 9 double crochets. After working those 9 double crochets, and we just single crochet in that single crochet spot, or it's actually opposite where that single crochet was, because we are working along the foundation chain, and we're just going to work that all the way across. And when we get to the corner, we will be changing back to the variegated yarns, and I will show that to you. But just one thing I just wanted to show you, there is a slightly larger hole on this side where you're joining, but honestly I wouldn't worry too much about that. I don't think it's going to be a problem. That's just the nature of working with foundation chains, and it probably would be about the same if you were working in the single crochet foundation row as well. So don't let that bother you too much, just the nature of crochet here. And I'll go ahead and finish this row to the next corner. After working all the way across the foundation row, go ahead and make a single crochet right there in the corner. But go ahead and switch to the new yarn, or the variegated yarn, as you complete that single crochet, and go ahead and make a chain with that stitch. And I'm going to go ahead and take the time to knot these 2 strands together. Make sure we pick the right one here. We're going to be trimming this one. Okay, and we're going to join that. Join these 2 together. And again, sliding that knot down as close as you can to your work, which will be hidden shortly once we hide all these loose strands. And then turn to work across the final edge and go ahead and begin with those 9 double crochets in the hole on the side, just like we did the other side. So go ahead and finish this side up. Remember, we do the 9 double crochets and then we do the single crochet in the solid color yarn. After working that all the way along that side, go ahead and join with a slip stitch to that first stitch of the row here. Okay, and then go ahead and give it a chain and a tug, and go ahead and clip a nice long strand to be hidden. And I'm going to go ahead and show you how to hide this strand. Go ahead and get your yarn needle, and you're going to have a lot of these to practice on, so go ahead and thread that needle like so. And there really is no front or back side of this, but I'm going to go ahead and run this down here in the back side, and there's plenty of stitches to run these threads under, which is one thing great about this stitch. So just go ahead and run it under all those stitches. Okay, see how many there are, and they're packed pretty tightly, so this is going to be an easy way to hide these stitches. So you pull that nice and tight and get close to the stitch there, but don't clip your stitch, just clip the extra thread, and that stitch, or rather thread, is hidden forever. And that is the end of this. So now all we need to do is go back and hide a few strands over here. So go ahead and hide those loose strands.
Well, I hope you enjoyed making this baby blanket. If you need the pattern, all the information you need is right down below in the description box. And if you haven't already hit that subscribe button, please go ahead and hit that, and you will not miss any of the new offerings I have coming your way. Well, thank you for joining me for this one. God bless you all. Bye-bye.